running through these just to see what you can check off. Start off with, okay? Prepare a map of database of available commercial and industrial property. And that was shown as a Leesburg activity, but it almost looks like a county activity to me. Now, is that right or wrong?
I'm sure if you've got the county on the tax number or whatever, so exactly the same thing. So it's just a chamber of commerce, development authority, just something to have in the book somewhere.
Do you have commercial property available within Leesburg? Sure. Okay. Do you have industrial property available within Leesburg?
Available?
None available.
Are you referring to, does the city have industrial park? Or you're
Is
just saying
there
industrial
industrial land? Not necessarily the city have a park, or the development authority have a park, or the county have a park, which will get us in it. Is there industrial land within the
I
city?
think you could consider land around the bypass as commercial or industrial, depending on who wants it. I mean, I think there's big enough pieces of property out there that if somebody wanted to come in and put a strip mall, that's the perfect place for it.
But
Is that what you're referring to as commercial?
he said there's commercial, and I'll agree with you, there's commercial out there. But I was wondering about industrial.
We have on the zone that we have industrial. What we do. Availability, is it for sale or is it in the city? That map's not accurate.
That map's not accurate. This is the map that the planning director of planning has.
That's the right map, that's not.
He's using it for the board.
Okay.
I was just using that to
But there's agricultural land, we have peanut mill in the city, which is not necessarily manufacturing, industrial or.
Okay, so you can consider it.
Yeah. So you get available as it's for sale, or is it land in Leesburg?
Land in Leesburg available for development as industrial property.
There could be. There could be. If somebody wants to get rid of it, they can do it.
Okay. Y'all heard that?
Well, all the other properties commercial.
Can I ask a question now?
Sure.
Does anybody want industrial in the city limits of Leesburg? Okay.
What's the definition?
If you have to live on Starksville Street or on Fifth Street and hear the peanut runners until 1 o'clock in the morning when you can't even enjoy sitting in your backyard.
Or having your windows up, because we
And
can
you
still,
can't handle the
we
peanut
still
dust
live
and
in
everything turns red.
Hey,
You know what
I said, that's why I asked
You
that. There are things that some people don't want. I mean, that's,
Well,
Better way.
would you not mind the fiber optic place in Leesburg though?
huh?
Would you not mind the fiber optic place in Leesburg? There's a lot of fiber.
Okay, what about Woodford? Would you put Woodford inside the city?
What's Woodford?
Yeah, I mean, how you decide for what you want, I mean,
Yeah. Well, what I hear
Well,
is,
it's in the midst of a residential area, that's what hurts. And it brings your values down of your residential homes.
so do you just think
That's
that
what we're all about. We keep folks in Leesburg rather than have to go somewhere else.
I think what I hear is there's really no plan at this point for further, for that. And there probably needs to be a plan if you want to do it. One of the things that I see though is you're not going to have a Procter & Gamble in the city of Leesburg because you don't have access to rail. That I'm worried about where you tracks we're talking about over around the bypass. So a lot of these places, if you're looking for big things, are going to be looking for that type of access. But you're looking at smaller industrial type things like you mentioned, the applied fiber that's there. But then they're going to want stuff like, they're going to be wanting something to bring them in there. So what do you go, if you want it, what do you want and what are you willing to offer?
what do you bring to the
Well,
table?
I mean, we're talking about rerouting trucks away from downtown Leesburg. It's gonna be hard to do when you got semi trucks coming in with peanuts to go to peanut mill. I mean, you're gonna.
Well, we'll balance. We've got to get to a balance.
Yeah.
One thing, like with the ethanol plant, city utility in developed, I think is, or was to be supplying propane or natural gas, which would be a tremendous boon to the city. But we don't have natural gas to offer anybody. But that brings up my thought on the bypass where you're talking about. We don't have water and sewer out there to offer anybody at this point, and that's because long term, we may not be looking at this in the next year, 5 years, to 10 years, and that's what you've got to be thinking if you want to do that there.
Better question. Do you want industrial? And what kind of industrial do you want? Light industrial, quote unquote, which can be defined in maybe one thing. You probably don't want the heavy industrial, the heavy noise, smoke, air pollution, that kind of thing. A little bit, and there's not a whole lot of quote unquote smokestacks out there these days that you can basically get. There are going to be identified that you probably don't want to try to look at. It's going to be something for you to consider. Okay, if you're talking about looking at the big picture of Leesburg, you get a decision of where you're going to be. That's something that you're probably want to consider. Expand and promote annual and regional events. I need some help. What does that mean? Tell us somebody.
Christmas parade. We have a heck of a Christmas parade, and
Christmas festival.
last year it turned into an all-day event, the movie at the end of it.
It was a wonderful community event.
And so annually, you're talking about expanding, not only doing Christmas, but maybe some other events.
It was for Christmas parade, which has been a great Christmas parade for however many years. And last year after the parade, they had a street fair thing, and that night they had a movie in the park.
And other than it being cold, it was a wonderful, we almost froze it up, but I mean, it was a wonderful event. There were people with buckets of chicken and they're hanging out there and wrapped in blankets. And it was just one thing, and we've already said it, Leesburg is about quality of life, or Lee County, whatever you want to call it. That was a quality of life thing. There were parents with their kids, they're out there, the kids are running around playing football, you know what I mean? That stuff that families are looking for.
Back into downtown.
Yeah.
I mean, and the more events like that we do, that does bring revenue in to the city.
Okay. I mean,
Bring exposure and
yeah.
we need to do more of it.
When I ask you to explain these things to me, I think it helps you understand where you're going as well.
I think when Roseanne Roseanne put this together was, I think so, when she was going over that aspect, I think it was a question raised, and I think with reference to Smithville has a festival, and there was some interest, I think, that at least for people to develop something along those lines, I don't know. But
We just can't think of anything. We got possums and armadillos.
We need to have a music festival.
We can do music.
Have a little fun today.
Well, and I'll give you an example. City of Baldwin, Missouri, my office has a company called Richardson Wynette Motors. Guess who the Wynette is?
Tammy went out.
Tammy Wynette. And Tammy Wynette, July 4th, every year, would come to a free concert in the park. And I mean, it was wide, and it turned in every year. I think she stopped at it, they were getting 10,000 people. On July 4th, and had a big fireworks show. You might be able to capitalize on it, look around.
Yeah.
And we got Buster Post. Yeah, that's very cool, you know.
More than that young man goes, the more the rest. Okay, those kind of things, that makes sense. Prepare a historic places inventory list and protection plan.
That's staff time, we don't have staff, that's time to do that.
Well, was their intention there to create like a historic district or maybe a downtown historic area or something?
I'm sure we're gonna add that on their list, and we add it on our list. I just gotta think
I
back.
mean, is that something y'all?
And the inventory's never been done.
I'm sure.
Is it continuing, it's survival, something you really want to see?
It was put there for a reason, I have no idea what the reason was.
If we're gonna do a downtown, if we're gonna do downtown, I mean, I think we need to capitalize on the history of what we got there, that is something that
But they could be folded in
Well,
they can
downtown.
hold in downtown.
The historical structure, one of the oldest things in town, is probably where our makes people are in the old county jail. That's probably historical building.
Waterfall. And today at the King Center, it was talking about him being on the.
No.
Yeah.
Just spend time in jail, what?
He was the report when
The,
he did
the
the water.
building that.
The stock, it was a stockade.
The building that.
They want.
Just people want to
That's what he
take
was wanting.
and use for green space. House wanted it.
Yeah.
We need a blackout fund.
But in the King Center, it says Albany, it doesn't mention Leesburg, but I informed my students that it was in Leesburg.
It was all up there because they were afraid something would
I
happen
can
to
do
them.
it in Albany.
We need a big sign.
Is it the freedom center?
That's what this is referring to, that you guys.
That was back in '66.
Or something like that.
It's a whole building.
I think that's-
Tear it down and take it, that's what I was thinking, oh no, can't tear it down.
We could sell tickets and make money.
Are you looking at a historic district?
Well,
District?
I think what we had discussed before was finding a viable way to bring buildings up to code and things like infill. If you have a house go away, when you replace it, it doesn't look like a, I don't know what right word I'm looking for. The houses, you know, you go down Walnut, they all have that 50s bungalow, Craftsman, whatever.
Yes, and let me say, for someone who lives in a historic home in a historic district,
In a historic town.
when I went to put a fence up, I had to go before the historic planning board to get approval and had to draw them what a picket fence looked like to put it up. And, you know, as a resident coming in, I didn't too much like that. So you think about the impact of your actions, you know, as to what's going to happen. Because if I so much as want to, I think I can paint my house any color I want, but otherwise, if I do anything, yes, I can. I can paint it bright pink or red if I want to, but I'm not going to.
And then across the street, we don't need.
No, that's
The house on Starksville, that moved from Starksville,
The blue house.
no, not Honeywell's house, the one that Robin Higgins now lives in. But it's a corner house, I mean, I lived in a house with a girl. That actually was supposed to be put on the historical register.
You talking about Durham's or what?
Right across the old Presbyterian church.
The one by Tony Bryan was actually moved from
The Cox
Starksville.
is living in way back.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually was moved from Starksville, that house was.
Got Marina involved in that. He's been
Okay, what you got here, what you got a situation on the historic district, and really, I don't think you understand or know where you want to go with this thing. Do we want to keep it in here as a possibility? Sydney says no.
I see it needs to be, I think these places need to be investigated and marked on a map or something. If we're going to do a museum, let that be part of, you know, places that have been here since 1908, since 1870, you know, whatever. You know, I think that needs to be somewhere listed.
So I think you're looking for an inventory,
Yeah.
okay, not a historic district.
Now, when Rhonda's house, she had her house rezoned for commercial. But it was stipulated that the house had to maintain a residential look or a certain style because it's moving next to the house. So we didn't want to have a public, her house had a public building up.
The home fire had to be rebuilt as a house that fits within that structure, within that street structure.
Okay. I think Ron here, what I would propose to you, try to move on is, you need to do the inventory, okay? But the historic district is probably not possible.
There's a history one, but that's
You reduce it right out.
Yeah, it would be spread out.
That's what I'm saying, if we had a mapping or something in the museum or in the training code, even something that marked where these, I mean, because people don't know that, I mean, they don't know that that house on Starksville came from Starksville that doesn't even exist anymore.
Like you said, inventory and carve out a historical district.
Yeah.
If you want to fill your room at your council meeting, establish a historic district, right